Hello, it's Nikki. Welcome to part 3 of this 10-part series. We are going deep into some lessons, some learnings, some big F-ups, all of it. Today I want to talk about money and really cultivating that relationship of what was going on, what needed to happen, why it needed to happen, and how I could make it happen. When I first got my coaching qualification, my money experience of attracting money, if we want to use that kind of abundant manifesting term that people might recognize, in terms of earning and earning well, I would say there were very few occasions that I truly felt, here we go. Thanks for coming to my therapy session. There were very few occasions where I truly felt that I was being paid well for what I was doing. I definitely felt throughout my 20s that I was always scrimping and saving and cutting corners and not quite having the money that I wanted to have. And it was expensive living in London. And for some reason, it was a real blocker for me. It was something that I had to work through and really work out how I was going to make it work. And in the beginning, when I first qualified, and this is why it's going to be relevant for you today, if you're looking to make a change, if you're looking to add something new, the best piece of advice I can give you is see if you can get money through the door ASAP. And this may not be your full whack, this is the amount of money that I feel really good with. But whatever it is, as long as it isn't for free, it will really start to move you into momentum. And the reason that I say this is because I spent so much time and effort and energy doing things for free. I really fell into that mindset of doing something for the opportunity or doing somebody a favor or hoping something would lead to something. And I got to a point where sometimes I would just work all week doing all these things and bending backwards, helping people out. And I got to a point where I had nothing left, like nothing really in my bank account. That's probably slightly dramatic, but nothing where I was just like, I didn't feel like I could have a weekend. I didn't feel like I could take myself out for lunch if I wanted to. I felt like I just made enough to pay my bills, and that was it. And I really had to work out what was going on there and work out why that was the case. And so when I started to charge for my coaching services, it felt quite scary because I was moving into a packages situation rather than a per hour situation. And the reason for this is that when you do some coaching, it's never just paying for the hour. I have learned over the years that I really want to work within experiences. So people pay for time with me, but then there's lots of time and space around that experience to continue the work and to begin new bits of work as well. And so when I was starting out, I had no payment systems. I had no fancy accounting system. I didn't have any kind of, I wasn't connected to Stripe or PayPal or anything like that. The only way that I could be paid for my coaching was to send an invoice. And that is one really valuable point that I want to share. is to get going where you are right now, because it's so easy to be in research mode of like, what's the best accounting system? How should I do this? I don't know how many packages to sell. See if you can sell one. See if you can sell an hour of your time and see who buys it. See who wants it. See and explore why now, why you, and really go into detail there. I also want to talk about this sense of doing something for free. And I want to ask you, if there is anything that you do for free, I simply want to ask the question, why? And that's not in a why, in a judgy way. It's so you know the answer for yourself. Because sometimes there are things right now that I do for free, that somebody asks, can they pick my brains? Can I take you for a coffee? Can I take you for lunch? Do you have 15 minutes that I can speak to you on the phone? And sometimes I say yes, and sometimes I say no. But often I will say yes. Often I will help somebody out, or I will, help to move somebody forward in that way. But I really have come back to this intention. So sometimes what I discovered when I did this exploration around freebie stuff is that I found myself giving things away for free because I didn't know how to ask for the money. Or I did something for free because I wanted to be a nice person. Or I did something for free because I wanted and I hoped that somebody would pay for something. But what I didn't do was I didn't explore the environment around that. So now what I've learned over the last decade is when I'm working or I'm doing something for free, I'm very, very clear on what the expectations and the outcomes are around that. So if somebody books a free chat with me, they know, because it says it on my website, that I have this understanding that they have looked at my prices and my packages, and that they're in a position where they're thinking very seriously about coaching. They're not just doing it of going, oh, there's a freebie there. Oh, I'll give that a go. I'll have a bash with that. They're not in that kind of flippant mindset. They're kind of ready to start moving forward in that way. I want to also talk about discounting and what that means energetically. And it's worked both ways for me. There have been some brilliant discounts that I've done over the years, and they've been fantastic, especially when you get that unexpected bill sometimes, or definitely there's been years where by the time my tax return comes round, I suddenly have that realization, oh, I'm going to be paying a lot more tax than I thought I was going to. Or, life things come up and you need to generate cash and you want to generate cash. And that's okay to say that as well. I think that's really important to say. But something like a discount, for example, can be really compelling, especially if somebody has really considered and thought about working with you for a while, but they haven't quite done it. And maybe their financial aspect is a bit of a barrier for them. But I've also understood what I need from that discounting process. And for me, it's really important now that I don't discount my one-on-one work. And energetically, I feel that I don't want to do that. I don't want to do buy one, get one free. I don't want to do 10% off or who knows, it might change. But this is certainly where I am for now. There's something energetically about my one-on-one work, because also I know that people pay the full price, and I want to honor that as well, because people don't take it lightly, that they're just like, oh yeah, sure, why not? It's a considered purchase in that way. However, my online courses, my workshops, my digital suite, I guess you could call it, I don't mind doing discounts because energetically that feels good for me. So here's another question around discounting, especially as you're planning your pricing menu, maybe for this next financial year of what you want to make. Really think about the energetics and the intentions behind your discounts. Why are you doing it? Does it feel good? Is there a way that you could do this in a way that feels better for you, etc.? The last thing I want to say on money is I've really had to learn the possibility of what a financial situation could look like. And it's been very interesting for me to see always where there's more work to do. And this is, I guess, a good opener question. If you are not where you want to be financially, I want you to start to study it. I want you to see how you talk about money, how you feel when you buy something, how you feel when you receive something. I want you to look at your money systems. I want you to look inside your handbag and your wallet. I want you to think about how you feel when you look at your bank account. And all of this work will start to give you an indication of what is going on and maybe where you need support, maybe where you need help. And it's a really interesting exercise. And it's also been really fascinating for me to explore what's possible. And even though I really don't like those videos or those podcasts where people talk about money in quite a gratuitous way. And the reason that I find it a bit gratuitous sometimes is that the intention or the attitude around it can sometimes be like, yeah, I just got like 20 bums on seats and like charged them all this. And it just sometimes doesn't feel very personal. It feels very tick sheety and it doesn't have that lovely flavour to it. I guess that's what I'm saying within that. But also there have been times where I've knocked my own socks off a little bit in terms of how I've been able to earn money and what is possible and what happens, what your piece of the pie, your piece of the process can actually do and have a ripple effect. So, for example, if I've done an advert in the past, which I have, lots of them, sometimes when you get your check, but what I mean is like your bank transfer from your agent of being paid for an advert, sometimes that can feel a lot of money to receive in terms of, for a couple of days' work. But if you think about what their marketing spend is and how much they've spent on that advert overall, like there was an advert that I did a couple of years ago and everybody had a personalised water bottle. Now this was COVID times, but it did feel a bit extreme, like to have your own personalised with your full name on water bottle. And that would have been an expense that would have just been done, just been organised. Like, there we go, that's all sorted. And so I feel that I've really started on this journey of money and what it means and where I've held myself back or the beliefs that I've played into. And I'm just going to enjoy it and have fun with it and enjoy being playful to see what's possible and to see what feels good. This is the thing that money is not the only currency. And I've never had that coaching practice where I know I just want to go back to back to back to back and work all the hours. I want to be able to have space to create this podcast, for example, which I don't get paid for, but I love doing it. I want to make it. It's a really great marketing tool for me. It's a way of attracting speaking gigs or spreading my message or all sorts of things. So I guess that's my biggest takeaway for you today, is to really think about what your relationship is with money. And as you embark on this next chapter, where you go next, really pay attention. Start to prick up your ears and listen very carefully to what's going on throughout your process. And I promise the clues will start to reveal themselves. And again, once you have that data, you know exactly where to go from here, and maybe where you need a bit more time, a bit more consideration, a bit more focus. It's really, really interesting, but also a bit scary as well sometimes. It feels a bit confronting. And so, I'm going to not pretend that doesn't happen also. Thank you so much for listening today. There is a whole section on money and creating your pricing menu over on my website, so do check that out. Also, there is a freebie which is called 5 Signs That It Might Be Time to Increase Your Prices. So go and grab that as well. That would be really useful. And if you're thinking you want to change the way that you work and the pricing menu that you develop, I would love to have a pick and mix session with you. So do feel free, check out all the details, nikkiraby.com/sessions. We can have a free 15-minute session if you would like to have a conversation, to have a chat. You can let me know what you want to do and all that good stuff. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you tomorrow for part 4. Bye.